do in Apple Strut, Dim Reggae, Miles of Aura, and Rain.
Okay, put your headphones on, here we go.
Helps business manage digital and paper-based information. Proudly serving Kauai for over 26 years. Rico Business Solutions.
On a small island on a not-so-unknown Pacific archipelago exists an intimate yet diverse music scene. Like all scenes, the scene here is made up of talented musicians who by their collaborative efforts have created a community. They share the same triumphs and challenges. You'll find familiar archetypes and characters. It's not this scene. It's similar to this scene. It definitely hasn't reached the heights of that scene. But nevertheless, it is a scene. It's our scene. And one thing's for sure. The scene ain't dead.
I said, baby, let's keep the fire burning. How longer can we work this ass?
Meet the Applesauce family.
We're gonna vamp on this. I'm gonna introduce the band. This lovely lady to my left is Miss Aura. Let's hear it for Aura, y'all. Your brother playing bass is Mr. Paul Clyde. Our percussionist in the back, Mr. Dan the Man Butch. We got Mr. Rick Avalon upon the keys. Yeah, let's hear that. Behind me is Mr. Rory Marsh on the guitar stick. And our drummer, the one and only Hamster White Root. Yeah. My name's Cameron. It's a pleasure to be back on Kauai. Say what's up, y'all. I love you. And we're gonna sing now.
Initially, Applesauce was a band of 5 brothers. Cameron moved on to pursue other things, and Rick and Aura were added to the lineup. And the front man became a front woman.
I think one of the songs with War Pigs that we asked her to learn, and she did it, and right there everyone was just like, yeah, okay, so this is game on. And then she actually brought this tune about the
Aura is this little soul machine, and she has so much passion for her ideas and her art. Well, she's young and beautiful. She's really eager to learn and also to create and put the combinations of ideas that she has in her head together and mesh them with all the stuff we've got going in Applesauce.
Mr. Roy Marsh.
I was born to sweep guitars.
I laugh because you laugh. He's funny.
This is Ja Roots, Ja Reggae, Ire, 98.9.
He's very technical.
I guess it all starts when you're like 9 years old and you somehow watched VH1 Behind the Music, and it just so happened that Alice Cooper had his special on, and I think that was like that was the first time I heard like heavy music. Heavy music.
Rory Marsh is a crazy motherfucker. He's brilliant. He's just he plays like no one you've ever heard. You know, he has such a diverse influence. You know, he grew up playing metal, and when I first met him, we were playing hard rock.
See him on fire, he's just on fire. You're just like, okay, there he goes. Way out, Rory.
Influences and inspirations on Island. Oh God, without a doubt, Jeff Caldwell. He's probably like the single most influential musician, guitar player specifically, to influence my playing.
Now she's found a book of love, then my heart lies asking. Oh Lord, where were you in my crime of passion?
fantastic phrasing, great feel, really cool licks.
I think he's extremely talented. I've played with him a number of times. I love him to death. He is just the sweetest guy. You know, he's like kind of an Eric Johnson kind of player. He's obviously studied, but it goes way beyond studying. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of soul. He picks great tunes, he's a great singer. Yeah, I love him to death.
Oh, it's not right. Need to run. Tell me it's already done.
Jeff Caldwell, another guy I enjoy playing with, and it's always inspiring and leaves you a lot of room to play and invent things.
Deep inside, what I like to get is tasty.
He's this loving big Alaska bear who just, you know, he has so much in him to put into his bass.
I haven't named this bass yet.
And he gets in the zone. He's just it's really amazing, really incredible to watch, and really fun to play with. He's very interactive and playful as well.
Maybe I should name it Clarice. Well, hello, Clarice. You know, I was an R&B guy. I just loved listening to music, but I was mostly into R&B, soul, and funk, and disco, and things. And then I moved to the suburbs, ran into these guys in the street who were just, you know, drinking beers under a street light, and we befriended each other, and they turned me on to all kinds of music. And then they played the band Rush for me, and that was it. I'm like, guys, I'll see you later. I ran home. I was like, Dad, I want to play bass, you know, and that's how I learned how to play, by just learning all Rush.
Milo Matthews, one word, beast mode.
I guess my philosophy would be that I'm all for the deconstruction of constructs in music.
Take a look inside, 'cause you cannot hide your love under some light.
There are many styles and many cultures that still, you know, deserve their respect and individualism, but my philosophy is that they can all coexist and blend together. Influences off island. There are a lot of local musicians in Alaska that I look up to. Melissa Mitchell is a great singer-songwriter.
Melissa Mitchell from Alaska.
She's influenced me as far as her spiritual approach to doing music, and a few other players that I can't really remember off the top of my head. On island, Trey, bass player. I've seen him a couple of times.
What brought us to In the 70s, I worked with Jose Feliciano for about 8 years. And one of the things that I always look forward to is we would go to the Orient, and we would go to Japan and Hong Kong, Shanghai and those kind of places. And it's in the middle of winter, it's kind of cold. The cool part was after that 6 or 8 week tour, we would come to Hawaii. And typically it was Oahu, sometimes Maui, but one time we went Oahu to Kauai. I can't remember the year, but it always stuck in my mind.
Trey Thompson inspires me because of how hard he works to at his craft and his skills.
Whatever. Really didn't think about playing music as any kind of a career thing here. It wasn't a place I was moving from a music center, LA, so we were just trying to get out of the rat race more than anything else. And one thing led to another, and there were a lot of playing opportunities, and so I just kind of fell into them. It was just real serendipitous. People email me or people on Facebook remind me of something, and I don't mean to sound like I've played with everybody. It's just, it was a kind of a long and varied career. Some of the people I can remember most specifically were Jose Feliciano, who I played with for about 8 years, traveled the world with, Joe Cocker, who I also traveled the world with, and he just passed away a while ago. He's a lovely guy, an amazing guy. Maybe playing a little help from my friends in front of 50,000 people is one of the true highlights of my life. Larry Carlton, jazz guitar player, even did a record with Cher at one point, played with David Foster on a couple of things when he had a band called Skylark. It goes on and on. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people. I did a lot of studio work. I was certainly not the first call by any means, but I was lucky enough to play for Mike Post and did Magnum P.I. and Hill Street Blues, those kind of TV shows, did that kind of stuff as well. So I was very fortunate and very lucky to have about a 22-year career in Los Angeles. Ricky Avalon. Ricky is my partner in crime and a lot of the things that I do here. We share times all the time. We see each other all the time. He's an exceptional musician, an exceptional human being. And we're always kind of growing together and trying things. But it's like we're always talking about different kind of concepts, triad pairs, how to do this or do that. I love him to death. He is a true lifelong friend, and I count it a blessing that I met him and I get to hang out with him so much.
When he first joined Applesauce, we would joke that he was Yoda. We got Yoda. Obviously, because of his age, he has so much more experience. He's such a nice guy, and he's so open-minded for how much experience and time he's spent playing music. When he plays anything on the piano or the keyboard or organ or whatever he's using, every time he plays something, you're like, I wish I did that. I wish I could do that.
It's all a language, something the musicians share.
In my opinion, he's definitely the best drummer on this island. Also the most versatile. He is incredibly musically sensitive. And plus he's also got some wicked ass chops.
Mr. Hampton, Mr. Whiteroot is increasingly my favorite drummers. There's only a handful of drummers that I really enjoy playing with, and he is definitely on the top list. He listens. He knows when he's also a producer in his own right, in his mind, and the way he approaches drums.
Super ethereal and super deep emotions and feelings, and it's a way for me to transmit that to other people. You know, it's a way for me to put it out without having to find the words. You know, because there's some things that there aren't words for, and I think that the beautiful thing about music or art in general is that it doesn't require words. You can use words. You know, obviously there's lyrics in music. You could write a word in your painting. But it's not needed, you know. The sounds and the way the vibrations and everything just affect, the harmonics affect your being, you know, can change you.
All that I have is questions, questions why are there so much troubles here and there? I have so many questions why is there so much troubles everywhere?
Musicians in general have great timing and a great sense of humor, and it's fun to be around other guys.
I think Kauai is this unique case with collaboration because everybody plays music on the island.
Right.
Your postman, the UPS driver, the guy that gets your, groceries together. So there's really a roots foundation of music in the community in itself. Those that are willing to contribute to that really make what the bands happen on the island, I think.
A music scene to me is a scene where there's a group of talent that is a local fixture that really uplifts.
Those full moon walks on Secrets Beach.
Okay, so you guys are in for an amazing opening set from Frida. The guys
Let go and surrender to a different path and point of view. Give in to the thunder, lights at the heart.
I'm a soul that's on the edge, assessing the sense of wisdom. With a mind intention, I'll never even try. Never even try. I'm standing to living now. This hour when I turn, I'll shut that ledge and watch myself burn.
He's such a groove master and such a, stickler for the groove, but he's also a Rush fan, which, not that they don't have groove or nothing, but it's just funny that he's like, here he is, this, freaking 6 foot tall, big black guy that looks like Victor Wooten, plays like Victor Wooten, although he's not, he's totally Milo, but he's all into Rush and all that kind of stuff.
Both Rory and Hamster, being on the road, he came on the road with me as well, and the combination of great guys doing great music without any hang-ups or hassles, that has been I couldn't ask for anything better, it's like, that's the way it should be.
I've been in 10 bands on Kauai, probably started about half of them. And that's half the fun of it, is playing with who you have around you, who's willing to play with you and work with you, and see what you can do with it. And it's always an adventure, and that's part of the fun. That's what I love doing.
Because everybody has something to give, yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got something.
And with our collaboration, it's a little more complicated because we're partners and we're in a relationship and we live and work together, and it creates a really good dynamic. I've learned a lot from that, and it's made the music better. And so that's one thing that's different is usually if you work with people that you play music with and sleep with them, it can be some issues at times, but it's a good thing for us so far.
People have said they feel something when they listen to our music. They can feel our love, and it comes out in our music, and they can see it
That's
when
huge.
we're playing
Yeah.
live.
I just do what he tells me. As a co-writing team.
I try not to tell her too
Music
much,
and
to tell you the
production.
truth.
So, I think for me, our collaboration it's like we're just magnifying both of our gifts to be, 20-fold when we put our energies together.
It's like Wonder Twin powers activate.
You don't know what's wrong or what's right. She's Brandy and I love her. The only reason.
I'd say a music scene to me, the way I picture it in my head is it's just a collective of musicians who work with each other. Not all the time, like playing gigs or nothing like that, but just work with each other as far as exchanging ideas, licks, songs, just even conversing, just what you have to give yourself.
To the mighty diamond. To free the chain, to the mighty diamond, find your way between the lanes.
The water keeps creeping up and making our beach the ocean floor. And tell me, what are we waiting for? We take everything she's got, and then we come back for a little more. But don't worry about it, it won't affect you or your life. I wouldn't dream.
So, Trees Lounge this Friday, Allison's Anthem, Johnny Five, and Applesauce.
Everybody has kind of a mutual respect, and everybody's digging each other's thing, and for whatever it's, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different approach, and that to me is a scene, I think.
We need more places to woodshed and to be
Right.
able to experiment.
loud.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I like loud music.
More music festivals seem to be the only place we can, and that maybe if we're lucky, Dove does the homegrown once a year, and that's where we can really turn it up.
Yeah.
And that was really fun, and
Yeah.
it brings something else out of us that we don't get to bring.
There should be more people promoting live shows.
Everyone I play with really is an influence here because we all come from different places. Hawaii's like this hub, and everyone has different flavor from different parts of the country and different parts of the world and their own experiences, and it's nice to be influenced by that, without having to travel too far. I could play with people from all over the country.
I think what people don't understand also is how many demographics there are to work with within the music business, because one night we have 80 80-year-olds in here, literally doing the conga to some Hawaiian music, doing hula. And then the next night we have club night and 21-year-olds. If the 21-year-olds ever walked in on the other night, I think they would be really confused. So it's really great just to see how many different people and different genres of people can just come together and have a good time.
What brought me to Hawaii? I'll answer that for my part. I'll let Lynn answer for her part. I came out on vacation.
Never went home.
Whatever. I came out on vacation and loved it so much, I went back and said life's too short, and said, you know, I've sold everything I possibly could at that time and moved back.
Be true to who you are and don't listen to what anybody says, you know, about that's my whole thing.
My philosophy of life in general is if I'm not having fun, I change it. Okay, and if I'm not having fun in music production or making music, I just change the situation and do what's fun. If you don't make it fun, then it's not going to come out the way Spirit wants it to come out. It's changed radically from when you and I, and my wife and I were growing up. It's more democratic. If you want to make music today, you can. If you want to learn how to play music, it's easier now than it has ever been. So, all in all, I think it's going in the right direction, where I think it's not, and I think this will change, is that copyright material and stuff like that, you know, it's not right that people think that they can get everything for free when it does, it costs money to produce anything.
Yeah, it's important to have a producer. It's another, as that outside set of ears that hears things as a songwriter, singer-songwriters. You don't, you know, you hear a certain thing when you're writing music, but I always thought, you know, the first time we worked with a producer and I realized, wow, I heard it acoustically or I heard it on a certain mix, but then the producer comes in and really dresses that music up for the ball, basically. So I think that's, and it's a safe person to work with. You know, somebody
you're
that,
comfortable with.
Yeah, that has to be the studio environment and the producer, I think, have to make the performer feel really safe, because you're pretty vulnerable when you get into that little booth and singing your music.
Yeah, especially with production, 2 years to listen to it, 2 really good sets of years, 4 years, I guess, to listen to things and really, you know, be critical about it without hurting each other's feelings. That's the thing.
That's a good
That's
point.
the delicate
She's really good at it. I'm working on it.
Can you imagine if there was no music store? I mean,
Or sound man.
or sound man. Well, a lot of times there is no sound man, so I can totally relate to that. We provided huge service for, I'm not trying to, you know, promote the music store, like necessarily advertise the music store, but we promote a huge service. I mean,
For networking alone.
Oh, yeah.
Meeting all the musicians.
our
That's
bulletin
huge.
board alone probably is, I think it's the greatest music bulletin board on the island. I mean, there's shows, there's people with their services,
Drummers wanted.
yeah, what's needed. It's kind of, yeah, it's like not having to do everything online. It's kind of nice to have a person to talk to. And what's the best, you know, we had a lot of young kids in there that want to start like recording stuff. And we help them through the whole thing. Like, okay, well, you need this, you want to probably start doing this. I teach lessons, I get kids going on all kinds of on different instruments.
I'd like to see a lot more side projects with, you know, and do a lot more side projects with other people. And I just like to see, I guess the biggest thing for Kauai is, you know, at least one more place to play. You know? I mean, there's trees, there's the Nui.
It's a really small island and there's not a whole lot of places to play regularly.
couple of more spots where people actually listen to you rather than your background noise, if you know what I mean.
And I think a good community always has good food and good music, and people need to know where they can experience local talent.
When we opened Trees, we weren't really, and we planned on having music 2 or 3 times a week, but we weren't ever planning on doing that every night like we do. But when we opened, there was really nowhere else to play except for the hotels, and the hotels have the very safe music like the jazz and the Hawaiian, and I mean it's all wonderful. I'm not saying that that's bad, but we were able to do like a little more edgy or stuff, We thought 2 or 3 times a week because we didn't know how many musicians there were on this island, but then they were like knocking down my door. So all of a sudden, I literally had to say, you can only come between 5 and 6 because it was just like this rush. I feel like the local businesses create the music scene. If we weren't here, there would be nowhere to go. I mean, you would be a garage band, pretty much. So, I mean, we kind of are the backbone, really. I feel like as a owner of a bar, it's my job to kind of create a fun environment for people, and the easiest way to do that is to take creative people and let them express their art and their music and their dance. My job is to help people celebrate life, kind of. Like, this is the place you come when you want to celebrate life. So, let's do fun stuff. Let's dress up. Let's, be on vacation.
What I'd really like to see here is an amphitheater that could accommodate 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people. And that could easily be done, and it would be a big, huge draw worldwide, not just for local artists here, but it would be a draw for everybody around the world.
All kinds of different ways. People say do it the LA way or the Seattle way, and I was instructed, you do it your way. That's the way is best for you, because then you're happy with what you do and not so much having to force yourself to go one way or the other. So over the course of 40, 50 years, I just kind of wrote, kind of played, kind of just relaxed. Didn't really take it all that serious. As far as getting out there and making a ton of money, I thought that might not be such a good idea. There might be too many people who want that money besides me. So I just set myself up in a nice little spot in the planet and just kind of took it easy. And that's kind of where I've been for the last 25 years or so. Almost 30 now over here.
Barbecue flipper, styrofoam cup sipper, board shorts, tank top, stunner shade slippers.
I love the way that there's no competitiveness, only on a stance of pushing each other to the other edge, So I'd like to see more people helping out people, recording my album, recording this album. I'd like to see more of that, more organized shows, more places for kids to come and see music.
And this is going to be a political type of thing and caught me off guard on this one, but a lot of the pirating that goes on, that the independents like me suffer for, because they start doing CDs and sharing videos where the people that actually made that stuff aren't making anything from it, so they have to spend a lot of time early trying to get another job or something, and they lose that creative streak and everything. So really a lot more integrity in the listening audience would have to be what I would say would be the most beneficial to somebody like me.
So there's gonna have to be some kind of method that's gonna happen in the not too distant future that will help artists get paid for their work. yeah, they're getting paid for their performance, but they're not really getting paid for creating the material that allows them to become performers.
If people would just pay attention, like there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's all this stuff, there's website, we have our website, like there's so much information out there. As a small business owner, I don't want to pay for commercials on the radio and stuff because I want to give that money, and I do give the money to the musicians instead. So if people, I would really like people to just pay attention and support the groups. If you like punk rock, then come out, because if you don't come out, then we can't do that. We have to, you know, at the end of the day, we still have to pay rent. So I like doing more edgy stuff, but if you can't pay for it, then it doesn't really work.
In general, to me, and again, I've been around for a while. You know, I've been around since records. We actually did records, and that's for you young folks, for you youngins. So it's these big black flat things called platters. And it was analog, you know, and basically tape, 2-inch tape. And it's gone through cassettes and 8-tracks and CDs and MP3s, all this kind of stuff. Music business has changed hugely, and I think right now we're in a big state of flux. And I think in the next 10 years we will see it'll register something else, and maybe in the next 10 years there'll be a resurgence and musicians will again learn, you know, we'll figure out a way to make money off this. Otherwise it's gonna fall apart and there will be no music because nobody will make a living at it. So it's gonna change. It's always gonna change.
I said, baby, let's keep the fire burning. How long can we work this as? For right to run out of fuel. How long can we wait for this infatuation? Yes, for right to run out of fuel. She keep me conscious. I like a stalker, says I mean, cause I made her give up all stress. Cause she is my queen and my true empress. The standard definition of the truly blessed. She fill my cup like it's for ya. Tell me to come over. Can we flip the track and then the sofa? The longer I wait like an anona soja. I said, baby, let's keep the fire burning. How longer can we work this as? For right to run out of fuel. How longer can we wait for this infatuation? Yes, for right to run out of fuel. Full of desire, baby, you can spark a fuse and I could reconnect your wires. If I was a 10, you would not fit with it. If you spark the flame, you catch a fire. Our love is cool like an ocean. Let me taste your potion. Can we move it up in forward motion? Go pass me up a white lighter. Let me roll it up and smoke it up and pass it back to you. Me said, baby, let's keep the fire burning. How long can we work this as? For right to run out of fuel. How long can we wait for this infatuation? Yes, for right to run out of fuel.
All around us, we see the world changing. The music industry is no different, but one thing remains the same. You'll find musicians creating, collaborating, and sharing their passion with the world. You don't have to travel far to find them. Just open your ears. More than likely near where you are. The scene ain't dead.
Wow, that was amazing. That was applesauce. Very nice. Here we go. This is the Reggae Rastafari Showcase from Allison. I'm going to get started right here.
Sublime 40 ounce of freedom. autographed by the one and only Bud Gaw.
And poets, writers, whatever media you in, be you and do you. And it's not all about like the money and the fame. It's like to speak a word. And
Screaming for vengeance.
what do you like about it?
This is pure old school heavy metal.
This is a shout out to my son. He just sent me this shirt. And it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna say a whole lot because I really can't, but the back is pretty much says it all.
What does it say?
What does it say?
It says God, country, and fast boats.
God, country, and fast boats. Probably it should say big guns too. Anyway, I won't say anymore. His name is Wyatt, and he's my youngest boy, 23, strong as an ox.
Actually, the real reason was somebody flipped me off on the freeway. It was my defining moment, as Miss Oprah would say.
We're gonna wait for a harvest of Tina's heart.
I admire a lot of dead people.
And as far as the musicians, because you told me to turn it down. No. I'm just kidding. No, I know they can't tell up there, but that's just a little joke between me and all you guys.